Alright, Bryson. So before we do this 5-lesson series here that we're going to do, or this series of lessons, one of the things we got to make sure is that we're both on the same page as far as what the outcome is and what we want to, and what the ultimate goals are. I want you to tell me a little bit about what your ball flight is now and where your game's at now.
I'd say I'm hitting the ball pretty high, maybe a little bit too high.
That's a normal ball flight, maybe a little high.
Yep. And my game's close to being far. That's where I want to be. It's
Okay.
closer to you.
Closer, maybe more consistently being there. What about misses? Where are you missing?
Everywhere.
Everywhere?
I don't really have one good. Maybe, yeah, too much of a hook. Hook's
Okay.
too much. Too much.
Which miss do you hate the worst? The hook?
Yeah, because it goes really
Really far left. Okay. Yeah, that's one of the things we can deal with. The other thing, I guess, would be obviously this would be a total game improvement. We're going to go through everything on course. And how well do you think the mental part of your game is?
It's gotten better, but it can still probably use some work. Because I still find myself trying to force shots in the holes and force putts in and stuff like that. Not really trusting it so much, just trying to force it.
Okay. Well, take a few swings, warm up. Let's get 7 out maybe 6 more. All right, Bryce. The last time we got together on the range, some of the things we kind of worked on was the alignment. You were kind of inconsistent with shots. Your alignment was inconsistent. I'm trying to make sure before every shot we're lined up properly. And the other thing we kind of worked, the golf was pretty good. So the other thing we kind of did was move you away from the golf ball to get something more athletic position. We got to play some golf since then. So, any thoughts? Questions?
Definitely scoot away from the ball. My game, like, 10, 15 yards, just scoot away from the ball. Maybe because I just have more room to swing.
Yeah, that's one of the things we called it. Get more athletic and get your body in the golf ball. The other thing we talked about were things you can do on the driving range to kind of help you get prepared for shots on the golf course, where it was just hit one ball with each club that you can work on, only having one shot, and on the chipping green it's actually even better than the driving range, just one place where you can actually practice things that will allow you to kind of bring the stress of trying to get up and down and trying to make that putt on the putting green and the chipping green. One of those things would be to go on the putting green and from random spots try to go 10 times around without free putting. See, what that's going to help do is put pressure on putts during practice that you really can't generate anywhere else other than golf. Same thing with chipping. You do the same thing with chipping. You have 10 random spots that you're trying to go down chipping. First, let's take a look. Any questions about the putting show? Think you feel? I know you're kind of instructor.
I feel like I've got a good putting stroke and a good setup.
Well, we'll see if we can look at it and we'll do some drills and we'll see if we can get you going on the. All right, Russ. We got 2 weeks in a row of terrible windy weather, so we're gonna try to bring some of the stuff that we've worked on. We got standing away, further away from the golf ball, the alignment with actually the putting and the full swing. And so now we're going to bring it to the golf course. I want to try to see what your routine is on the golf course, maybe try to help you in that sense. We'll play some holes here, and what I want to try to do is kind of act as your caddy. So what I'll have you do is kind of talk to me about your pre-shot routine, what you're thinking about for the shot, and then I'll kind of, bounce back and forth with you as I can. Before we get started, kind of go over things we've talked about. With the full swing, we kind of talked about moving away from the golf ball a little bit. Trying to come more from the inside. We worked on some chipping and putting, some techniques that you can use, or practice ideas you can use to bring the golf course to the range. We went out on the golf course, talked about some mental side. So you played some golf since we've done that. What are your thoughts? thoughts or feelings or things that have worked, things that haven't worked? What do you think you need to work on? How do you think it's going?
Well, I mean, I just played really, really good yesterday, and I could tell, I wasn't hitting the ball, best I didn't hit it. But I just, kind of just stayed focused through there, and, just really stayed relaxed and didn't let it get away. Even on the match shots, I would just stay relaxed and just remind myself, it's not about a certain shot on the hole, it's just about what the score is at the end. And, I played the best round of golf of my life yesterday, and I definitely did not hit the ball anywhere near as good as I thought.
So that's kind of the mental side. Those things we talked about in our playing lesson about after you hit a shot, not worrying about where it went. That's where you hit it. Every shot counts the same. You have to move on to the next one and not let it affect that next shot. So what in terms of hitting it bad, what were you hitting bad, or what do you do? What's going on with golf?
My wedges and putting couldn't be any better, but my driver and kind of, my longer clubs are kind of going high, slicing a little bit actually, not even a fade, more just slicing.
Okay. Take some swings, loosen up a little bit. All right, Bryson, so this is the last one we have. Talk to me a little bit about how the golf's been going, how your golf swing's been going, what you feel like you're doing good, what you feel like you're doing bad.
I feel like I'm doing everything good except for my driver.
Struggling with the driver.
The driver is going right.
Well, we'll work a little bit on that. One of the things I wanted to do today, last time we played, I said something to you about the pre-shot routine, right? Because with golf, unlike other sports, with golf, you can't really try harder to do things harder. You try harder to hit putts or try harder to hit shots. Simply, you bring in that tension. And one of the things I really liked was your pre-shot routines, your putting stroke. Made sure you calm down. You got focused on the shot. And I noticed that with your full swing, you stood back there and you kind of bounced around and you jumped into it really quick. So there was a lot of movement and a lot of quick movement, which was carried over into the golf swing. A lot of quick movement. So one of the things I wanted to work on was some more of that pre-shot. Okay, let's take one club and one target. Let's work on that pre-shot routine, calming down just a little bit and going a little bit slower in the golf ball. Similar to what you do with the putt. It doesn't necessarily have to take that long, but when you get all amped up and you want to hit the shot and you're looking at it and you got all this movement, when you step into the ball, that's kind of what happens. You kind of jerk the club around. And that may be what we have going on with the driver too. I know when we played, that was one of the things I noticed was a lot of the drives were really quick. So, maybe with the iron, it's not that big a deal, but with the driver and that putter, it works great with your putter. It's putting really good. So maybe something that we need to start doing with that driver too. So let's loosen up with the 7 iron. Let's see where your golf swing's at. And we'll start working on the driver. For someone to be around scratch, single-digit handicapper, there's not a lot necessarily in the golf swing that really needs to be overhauled to get it better. A lot of times it's that mental part of the game. And small things like setup. We saw that they weren't kind of in line. Once we got them in line, even though you may have mishit some, the misses weren't as bad. They weren't as far right or didn't go as far left. So there's not a whole lot of big things that need to be overhauled. Obviously setup. And so we'll say this for a practice routine in terms of how to start out. Obviously stretching, but I think we should start out with the 2 alignment sticks, one at your feet, one at the ball, so you make sure you get that club face right. And maybe we warm up with 5 or 6 shots, hitting shots, just working on that alignment. So then we take the alignment sticks away, and now we go through the bag, and we do that every time. The pre-shot routine with one club, we pick out a target, we focus on the alignment, which were the 3 things we talked about. The alignment, that's maybe backing away a little bit, so you bend over a little bit more at the waist, and then that takeaway. And really, those aren't things that you're sitting here in your head thinking about, right? They're just little simple things like, okay, I'm right here, let's back away just a little bit, so I'll bend over a little bit more, and then just turn the shoulder. So we don't have a mind game going on. But so we start with the alignment stick to warm up, to work on our alignment, because we want to make sure it's right. Then 26 balls. So one at a time, pick a target, go through the practice routine. Come up with something. I said maybe take a deep breath before you walk into it, but come up with something. Maybe it's Ricky does it. I know you've seen Ricky. Ricky starts like this. You see Ricky start? So Ricky's trying to make sure he doesn't jerk the club back. And so maybe that's all. Maybe you just maybe that's what it is. Maybe in your pre-shot routine, you just, before you take that swing, you take a swing where you just turn your shoulder, and then you swing. So try to remember turn swing, not swing to swing. But those are things I think that will really help in the practice part of the game, especially your putting right. So this is the saving grace. The other thing that gives us is, you know, kind of things that we've talked about, not in lessons, and we'll kind of get into it when we go out on the course next week and do a playing lesson, is when you practice getting up and down so much, it kind of helps when you hit one of those shots off of the tree and you're thinking about making a miraculous par, or maybe even a chance for birdie. So now, because you know you've been practicing get up and down, you don't have to necessarily say, okay, what do I have to do to get this through this tree going to the green? Now you can start saying, okay, I'm okay with just punching out around the green because I know I can get up and down. All right? All right. Very good. So we've come to the conclusion that the issue with the full swing kind of starts right here. And hopefully, the more we can get you to line up properly with the putting stroke, because the putting stroke is the start of the golf swing, it's going to help be more consistent throughout the swing as far as getting those shoulders lined up. But you've seen how much it can affect the contact and where the ball is going to go. And then we've also learned more things on how to kind of practice that pressure you might find on the golf course. Any questions about it? All right, so we finished the par 5. We made a par. You know, it's one of those holes where you kind of expect to make a birdie. However, let's then go through the shots. You hit a good drive. You hit a good second shot. The wind's blowing a little bit harder. It might have gusted up when you hit it. So we ended up a little bit further away than we wanted to. You had a somewhat difficult up and down, but played the shot to at least give you a chance to go for a putt. It rolled off the backside a little bit. You still had a French putt. You hit a good putt, you make the par. So when you get in those situations, sometimes, yeah, you expect to make birdie, but
Definitely don't want to go.
right, had you sat right there saying, I have to make birdie on this hole, and tried to hit that miraculous shot, who knows what's going to happen. Bladed over the green, chunk one fat. So instead you said, okay, it's a difficult chip. We talked about the green area up there being easy to putt from, and you gave yourself a chance. So par 72, shooting par 72, so we made a par. We walked off not upset. You can say, ah man, I wish we made birdie, but you didn't really hit a bad shot. So we kind of face all those scenarios out here. Number one, you hit a bad shot, a good shot. You had a really tough shot, you hit into a bunker. You hit a decent shot of the bunker, you made a par. Make you feel good, right? You get to 2, you hit a bad shot, a really good second shot, gave yourself a chance for a par. You didn't give up. You missed the putt, so we made both. We move on to 3, a great drive, a good second shot. You missed a birdie putt, you made a good effort at it, you make a par here. So we kind of went through some scenarios where you hit really good shots, expecting a birdie, really bad shots where we didn't try to force to try to make a par, and we kind of let it happen, right? So it's easy when it's not a tournament play, but when you're in the tournament, you really got to try to make yourself think in those terms of, okay, let's kind of change what I'm expecting to happen here, and not try to force things. So on that second shot into the par 5 here, I mentioned to you on number 1 where you were aimed right when you hit that shot. You tried to move your feet for another shot, and you never really got aimed right. So on that one, you backed away, and we allowed ourselves to kind of reset right into the shot, right? So those are things you can practice while you're playing. Is okay, get up to a hole, set an expectation, but practice not trying to force that expectation, right? Practice trying to have a standard of how you're going to approach these shots so that you can live up to that expectation. And don't ever deviate from that. So say, okay, if you hit, just because you didn't hit the green and you expect to make a birdie, that doesn't mean we got to force a perfect shot in there. That just means we got to hit the shot that's going to get us in the spot so we have a chance to make that birdie par. All right? All right, good job. Good job today. All right, Bryson. So we did some good work today. You know, we found that your swing's really not that far off from, you know, hitting good drives. You got to where you had the ball a little bit too far forward in your stance because you were hitting a good, you know, a month ago or these past few weeks that you've been taking the club back a little further, trying to get some more yardage out of it. So it's important. You got to remember that, okay, you know, the least amount of energy I use to take the club back, the more I'm putting in the ball to keep your hands from going too far back. And we still kind of struggle with the backing away a little bit and getting a more athletic position. So just work on trying to make sure when you get set up that you feel, you should be able to feel a little crowded in here. You're a little bit closer. When you move away, you feel, you know, you have a little more room to move.
I really
to
do
help
feel
you.
like a lot more loose, and I feel like
Right.
my arms I don't feel like I can feel my arms as much. I don't know what it feels like.
Yeah. So let's think about the athletic position and that ball position. So you really three things with the driver relate to all of it. Is the athletic position at the start, so you back away, a little bit more bent over at your waist. The takeaway not being too, but really smooth takeaway, stopping the hands at 10 o'clock. Right? So when you're too close, you take it back way too far. What are you going to do? Either come, if they hit it straight or left, you're coming up over the top. So you hit a good swing from the inside, you can't clear your hips, you can't get that club face close, so you're off to the right. Okay? I mean, the swing looks really good. Hopefully you have confidence to say that yesterday you didn't hit the ball as well as you have in the past, and to shoot your first round on the bar. That's pretty exciting. Yeah, so see, you know you can do that. So now when you hit a bad shot, it should be even easier for you to say, well, I'll just go play it and make a par from there. Or birdie, obviously, if you make some birdie. Well, good work. So to recap of, I guess, everything that we've done in the lesson, the things we talked about to begin with, throughout the whole thing has always kind of been the quickness of the takeaway. So that's one key that you've gotten better with other things. Still got to work on with the driver. That's really good. The other one that I noticed today, which is great, is especially with the driver being a little bit further away and having that better spine angle. You know, before you were kind of hunched over, not really in athletic position. So you're a little bit further back. You're got it straighter back. That's really good. That's going to allow you to clear your hips and do everything. And really, it's just that takeaway with all the clubs. Not getting too fast with it. And it's hard, I know that, but that's just how it is. But that's where I talk about how coming out here and practicing one target for one ball. I mean, when we did that with the 6, 7, or the 7, 8, 9, all three of them were great. I mean, even if you thought you missed hit one, they were all right at your target and hit really well. So we know that's the key. So you don't necessarily have to slow down when you're on the course. I mean, because that pre-shot routine may feel like it's slowing you down, but don't feel like you're running up into the golf ball to hit it, especially with the driver, because the driver is just as important. Right, the driver. I mean, we hit the driver the furthest, which means there's more trouble for us to reach. If we can miss that trouble for you, it's all pretty good from there. Especially on a lot of the courses that we play, especially out here. It's a really good job. Any questions? Well, you know, a lot of things. The most important part, because your golf swing is really good, the most important part is the jerking of the club face back. And anytime you're on the golf course, if you hit a bad shot, granted, you're going to get mad about it, but the first thing you should think about was how fast did I take that club back? Because you'll probably feel it. As soon as you hit it, you can probably say, God, I jerked that back. And so we want to try to eliminate those moments where we say, why did I jerk that back? And practicing that pre-shot routine on here will help carry it over there. Same thing with the driver. Really with the driver. And if you're hitting a bad, you shouldn't think, I'm terrible, or I can't play this game. It should immediately be, I got to be jerking way too far back. And too quickly. Because what happens when you get too quick is that you take it too far inside and way too far back. When you take it out slow and outside, now you're allowed to get full extension up here, club back hard. You hit the last 5 really solid. They may not have been dead straight. One was a little cut, one was dead straight, so they're all right there. Really good work. Just keep working on that pre-shot routine and trying to make sure you slow down. And on the golf course, I know you've had struggling to not get so mad, but the thing you should be thinking about is, why did I go so fast? Instead of getting mad, I know what it's like to feel like you should be playing better, scoring better, but you need to try to fix what's causing it. And for you, it's always going to be that jerking the club back and moving too fast. All right, good job.